When they say the sum of squares, you know, sum means adding, and squares means like when we square a certain number. So they're talking about squaring the three lengths of the triangle. It's a small triangle here, but we can get the lengths of each of the lines from these points here. Actually, it's going to be, because they're all diagonal, it's going to be a little bit tough. I mean, there's a line segment AB, right, which just means the line from point A to point B. There's a line from point B to point C, and then there's a line from point C to point A, or vice versa. You could switch up the orders on those. And the only way to get the distance of those lines is to use, I'll write it over here, the distance formula, where you subtract the x-coordinates, you square it, and then you add the difference of the y-coordinates squared. Okay, this is called the distance formula. And it's just a way of finding out a distance between 2 points, especially if they're diagonal. Okay, so I'm going to use that. It doesn't matter the order you subtract them in. Just make sure you do x-coordinates. So 3 minus 0 makes 3 here. I did 3 minus 0. And then negative 2 minus a negative 3. Careful with your signs there. Negative 2 subtracted by negative 3, that makes 1. And so 3 squared is 9. 9 plus 1 is 10, so this is the square root of 10. Same thing for between B and C. 1 subtracted by 0 is negative 1. If you square that 1, that just makes 1. I'm kind of doing all these steps at once here. And then if we got y coordinates, negative 3 minus 4 makes negative 7. Negative 7 squared makes 49. So that distance is square root of 50. And then CA, 3 minus 1 makes 2. 2 squared makes 4. All right, I just did this. I put 3 in for x1, 1 in for x2. I subtracted the x-coordinates and I squared it. Wait, yeah, I squared that right. Okay. And then negative 2 subtracted by 4 makes negative 6. Negative 6 squared makes 36. So this is square root of 40. Now when they say the sum of squares, look, this is the distance of, this is how long line AB is. So if I square a square root, it perfectly cancels out and leaves us with 10, right? Square root of BC squared, if I was to square that, the square roots cancel out. And the square root of 40 squared makes 40. Yeah. And then we add those up, that's 9, that's 100. The sum of squares of the lengths of the legs of the triangle, legs meaning like the sides of the triangle, it's 100. And the square of the length of the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is always the longest side of a right triangle. Okay? So actually I just completely forgot what I just said. The hypotenuse is the longest side, so BC is our hypotenuse. So the square of BC is 50, right? If we square that square root, it makes 50.